I'm ready to spill some tea. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to do a bit of myth busting. We're going to talk about fitness myths that you may have heard of or that you've seen and you're not sure whether you should try them. So let's get straight into it. I've got 10 myths for you today that we are going to bust. Myth number 1. So the first myth that we're busting today is that you can spot reduced fat. So I get asked this, a lot of other fitness instructors will know that we get asked this almost on like a daily basis. Someone who comes and says, oh, I want to lose fat on my stomach, I want to lose fat on my arms. It is not possible to target that area for specific fat loss. It's just not physically possible. So some people are blessed and some people are so lucky that they will see, as soon as they start a diet or a fitness plan, they will see that their stomach is the first place that they lose fat. That is just genetic and it's just lucky for them. You can tone the area and make it look more shapely and more appealing, if that makes sense. But you can't physically reduce the fat unless you're doing something that is going to reduce the fat overall. I just suggest that you have a good fitness plan, a good diet, and eventually you'll start seeing the fat going from the areas that you don't want it to be in. Myth number 2. This one literally annoys me so much. And actually, before I became a personal trainer and I was uneducated, I didn't know much about fitness, I was still into fitness, I thought this as well, but it's just not true. So myth number 2 is if I stop eating carbs, I will lose weight. Like, no, it's not a thing. The only way to lose weight is to be in a calorie deficit. Like, I feel like that's it. So you might see people raving on about how they stopped eating carbs and they lost so much weight. So basically what happened there, they've taken out a whole macronutrient out of their diet. So we've got fats, we've got protein, and we've got carbs, and they've basically just taken one of those out. So naturally, a lot of people will subconsciously eat maybe less and think, okay, yeah, I cut out carbs, that's why I lost weight. But they don't realize that they could have easily eaten all those carbs, all that bread, the rice and everything, and could have still lost weight in the same way. So carbs are not the enemy. Can we please stop telling bread that we don't like it? Because I, for one, love bread. So myth number 3, if you're not sore from your workout, you haven't worked out hard enough. This is absolute rubbish. So most of the time where a lot of people will feel sore is if they start a new training plan or if they have not trained in a while and are getting back into it. That's mostly when you feel sore. And you don't want to have that feeling all the time. Like, it's horrible when you get out of bed and you can barely walk up the stairs, down the stairs. It's the worst feeling. And not only does it make you demotivated to train the rest of the week because you just feel so sore and so tired, it might not even be good to train that hard all the time because you might be doing more harm than good because you're pushing yourself a little bit too much and it might be going way too far beyond your limits and actually be detrimental to your muscle growth. So let's just leave that behind and train to the limits that we feel comfortable and where we're not always sore and we don't feel tired all the time and rubbish all the time. Myth number 4. So this myth is really toxic and I hate it. I'm just gonna put my hands up and tell you I absolutely hate it. This is that you need to limit your diet and that you need to overtrain after you've had a little bit of a binge. We're all just human. Everyone slips up. Everyone has those days where they need to have a little bit of a binge. And it might be close to your period. It might just be like a bad day at work. You've had a rubbish day and you just want to sit home, have a tub of ice cream. It happens. It happens to the best of us. So the worst thing you want to do after you're feeling rubbish anyway is just go towards this downward spiral and make it worse by overtraining, not eating anything, and literally just making it worse and worse and worse. I would recommend that what you do is go straight back on track, forget about it, it's done, it's over, you enjoyed it, that's what you wanted, it's done. You know that you're not going to do that all the time, right? So just forget about it. The main focus for you should always be your calorie intake through the whole week and your diet through the whole week, not just that 1 hour that you spent binging. Because if you're consistently putting effort in for 6 months, what is an hour out of that? It's not much. And if you have a good trainer, they will account for those things anyways. So it's just like, just stop thinking that you need to punish yourself, because you don't. You really don't. Okay, so let's move on to myth number 5. Myth number 5 is literally just that the only way to build muscle is to increase your weights. Okay, so we all know that in order to achieve hypertrophy, basically just increase your muscle mass, you need to increase the load onto your muscles. So this can be done in many ways. The only way that most people know that this can be done is by adding more weight to their workouts. So just small things like even just executing the workout perfectly will make a difference. And things like adding bands to add a bit more resistance and increasing the tempo, decreasing the tempo, adding isometric movements, these are all things which will help you to build your muscle mass without completely relying on weights. And not to mention reps. Reps is always a big one. You can always add more reps and it will do a similar process. So myth number 6. Okay, this one is really annoying for me because a lot of people will do this and think that it works. So this myth is that you need to eat next to nothing to lose weight. And it's not always the case. I did a bit of digging and I found out that there have been studies where people who consume less than 1,000 calories per day will eventually start to slow down their metabolism and use muscle for fuel. That is something you completely want to stay away from, because we all know that in order to burn more calories, you want to have more muscle on your body. And if you're reducing the amount of muscle, not only are you going to feel so weak, but on like a general health perspective, we want to retain as much muscle as possible for a long and healthy life. So essentially, chronically undereating is going to affect your metabolism. You're most likely not going to be getting all the nutrients that you need on a daily basis. And naturally, you're just going to start feeling weaker and unhealthy and that kind of thing. So the only way that this kind of calorie limit would be sort of acceptable is people who do bodybuilding competitions and they need to lean down to their bare bones. And even they don't do it all year round. So even that, like, they know and they understand that this isn't something that is sustainable for the whole year, and they will do that for a short period of time and then will bring their calories back up. Myth number 7, you need to eat smaller meals throughout the day to burn fat. We've all heard this one and it couldn't be further from the truth. I personally prefer to have maybe 2 or 3 large meals throughout the day. I hate having small meals, like 6 meals. It's really annoying. I don't like it. I don't like to eat every like hour or so. So it's not going to work for me. It's not going to be sustainable. I'll do it for a week and I'll be like, oh, like I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who feel the same way. So this kind of thing is, again, very toxic because it makes people feel like it's this way or no way. And it's just not true. As long as you're in a calorie deficit for the week and for the month, that is the main thing. You can have as many meals in a day as you like, or as little meals in a day as you like, as long as you're consuming the amount of calories per week that you have set yourself, or that your coach has set you, and that they're in a calorie deficit. If you're trying to burn fat or if you're trying to gain muscle, it can be different, etc. But as long as you're reaching that target, it doesn't matter if you eat once a day. If that's your preference, go for it. Myth number 8. I don't even know where this myth came from. So I've heard a lot of people say that squats are bad for your knees. I mean, squats perform badly with the wrong technique can be very bad for your knees. And so can lunges, bench press, chest press, shoulder press, bicep curl, anything. If you are performing an exercise badly, you are risking a long-term negative effect to your body, especially your joints. However, on the flip side, if you are performing squats, lunges, any exercise correctly, then you are going to naturally strengthen your tendons and your ligaments in your joints. In the long term, that's only going to be beneficial for you because you're going to be stronger, not only in your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments. And as you get older, you're going to be less likely to have trips, falls, and hurt yourself. So this myth just needs to vanish in thin air because it is deterring people from exercising and it's just giving people excuses, in my opinion, and it just shouldn't even be around. So forget this one. Myth number 9, and I'm sure we have all heard this at some point in our life, which is doing weights will make women bulky. Becoming bulky takes so much hard work and dedication, and it's like most of the general population do not have the will to go to that length, and they don't need to, because believe it or not, toning and sculpting and those words are literally just a cutesy word for building muscle. And that is basically what you're doing when you're doing squats, lunges, any form of weight bearing exercise. You're just trying to build muscle. And I don't encourage anyone to just do cardio because it's not gonna help you at all. You need to do weight bearing exercises. You need to build muscle. You're not going to get bulky if you don't want to get bulky, because women who get bulky, they are literally pushing themselves to the limit, and that is what they want to achieve. Nobody gets bulky by accident. People want to look that way, and it's admirable because they have to put in the work. So myth number 9 is believing that there is only one specific way to achieve a fitness goal. So whether that be weight gain, weight loss, muscle gain. So a lot of people will say that this is the best way and you should do this and this is how you're going to achieve your goal. Most of the time, what you need to do and what you need to figure out is what works for you. And it is literally that simple. You need to see whether this fitness plan, this diet, this training program, if this is going to fit into your life, whether it's going to work for you and whether you enjoy it. Because no one should be doing something which is going to consume so much of their life if they're not enjoying it. And if you're not enjoying it, you should always find something different, because there is always another way that you can find to help you achieve your fitness goals. And I completely believe in that. And that's why my approach is just to help people find a way which is going to fit into their lifestyle and something that is going to be sustainable for them. Okay, so those were my 10 myths that we have busted out of your life today. And I hope that you have learned something new and you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any suggestions for me for my next video, please leave a comment down below. Otherwise, until next time, bye.